consideration provided by
Dupixent helps you do more with less asthma and can help you breathe better in as little as 2 weeks. Dupixent is an add-on treatment for specific types of moderate to severe asthma that's not for sudden breathing problems. Dupixent can cause allergic reactions that can be severe. Get help right away if you have rash, chest pain, worsening shortness of breath, tingling or numbness in your limbs. Tell your doctor about new or worsening joint aches and pain or a parasitic infection. Don't change or stop asthma medicines, including steroids, without talking to your doctor. Ask your specialist about Dupixent.
Tomorrow on ET, our Donnie Wahlberg exclusive, his untold stories of Bruce Willis on the set of The Sixth Sense.
Just kept hugging me and saying, "You did so good, you did so good."
Wait till you hear what Donnie says Bruce did for his career. It's really, really great stuff. All right, before we go, Drew Barrymore gave us this real moment on Instagram today.
You cannot make this stuff up.
Happening now.
After an hours-long standoff here in East Bexar County, 2 children and their father peacefully left the house. I'm Courtney Friedman. Coming up tonight, we'll talk about what spurred the standoff and also how a next-door school reacted.
A little bit of activity on the radar screen this afternoon. I'll have a full update along with our temperature trend this week and our next chance of showers and storms. See you in a bit.
It's a dirty job, but pretty much everybody's got to do it. The laundry. So which laundry detergents clean the best? Coming up, we'll have test results, including those new laundry sheets that dissolve in the washer.
First at 5, another mass shooting hitting home for many Americans. The latest one happening in Louisville, Kentucky.
A gunman opening fire at a bank in downtown Louisville, killing 4 people, injuring 9 more. As Myra Arthur explains, details of this case are still unfolding. But one thing authorities already know, the gunman who was also dead was a former bank employee.
Yet another mass shooting in America. This time, the violence unfolding in downtown Louisville at this Old National Bank.
Shots fired. Shots fired again. Is here now. He's going to GSW to him.
Police say the gunman, armed with a long gun, according to witnesses, opened fire on a first-floor conference room around 8:30 a.m. local time.
Within 3 minutes of being dispatched, officers arrived on scene and encountered the suspect almost immediately, still firing gunshots.
At least 4 people were killed and 9 more injured, including 2 police officers. One of them shot in the head and rushed into surgery at a hospital.
Officers down on the steps in front of the bank.
Governor Andy Beshear says he knew some of those who were killed.
I have a very close friend that didn't make it today. And I have another close friend who didn't either, and one who's at the hospital that I hope is going to make it through.
Investigators say they believe the suspect had a connection to the bank.
The suspect has been identified as Connor Sturgeon, white male, 23 years of age, who was employed at Old National Bank.
Myra Arthur, KSAT 12 News.
According to the Gun Violence Archive, there have been at least 15 mass shootings so far in the U.S. this year. That includes today's and the shooting at a Nashville Christian school late last month. Coming up a little bit later in the show, we're going to bring you the latest on the fallout from a gun violence protest involving several Tennessee lawmakers who were actually expelled after showing their support for gun legislation last week.
Back here at home, 2 children are safe. Their dad, though, in the jailhouse after a 5-hour standoff with Bexar County Sheriff's deputies and SWAT negotiators today. Courtney Freeman with why a domestic violence incident ended up locking down a nearby school, too.
A moment of relief around 12:30 this afternoon when these 2 boys safely walked out of this home in East Bexar County.
Obviously, they're a little bit shooken up. They're 12 and 9 years old.
Soon after, their 32-year-old father, Marlon Avita Reyes, walked out, immediately handcuffed, arrested, and charged with assault strangulation. Rewind to about 4:30 in the morning, BCSO deputies were called to the house on New Sulphur Springs Road for a domestic violence incident. BCSO says the boy's 29-year-old mother was able to get away and call for help around 7 a.m. But the kids were stuck in the home with their father, who would not come out.
What we were able to find out is that there were no firearms inside. We do know that he had a bat at some point. He was holding a bat.
BCSO Public Information Officer Deputy Johnny Garcia says negotiators and SWAT officers kept in contact with Avita Reyes for hours. and were able to de-escalate the situation so no one was hurt.
He came out peacefully. We didn't have to deploy any distractionary devices, any bangs, which would have definitely caused some sort of disruption at the school. So that was a win for us.
And that was another reason for a large law enforcement presence. Here's the house behind me, and then directly across the street is the South Campus for East Central High School. They locked the kids inside just to be safe, even though the school did not have to do with this situation.
East Central ISD sent out a notice to parents earlier in the day saying in part, out of an abundance of caution, we have gone into a modified secure, locking the perimeter down and keeping students in class. Once again, there is no threat on campus and everyone is safe and secure, end quote. Courtney Friedman, KSAT 12 News.
Avita Reyes is known to BCSO. Records show that he had spent time in county jail multiple times since 2007 on charges including burglary, assault, and evading arrest.
A jury took just under 2 hours to find a man guilty of a 2019 shooting that left one man dead, another injured. Brandon Guzman was convicted of fatally shooting 22-year-old Justin Larrabee inside his apartment on July 29, 2019. Larrabee's roommate also shot after returning home and finding Guzman trying to steal items from their apartment. Guzman expected to be sentenced by a judge in May. He could get anywhere from 5 to 99 years or life in prison.
Do you recognize this man? San Antonio police are hoping you might. They need some help identifying him. He is believed to have stolen from a business back in January.
This photo was taken from surveillance at that location on South Zarzamora Street. San Antonio police didn't say what the man shoplifted or how much it was worth, but they did say he showed a handgun while he was stealing. If you have any information, call the Robbery Task Force Unit at 210-207-0300.
The Bexar County Sheriff's Office looking for the person who shot 3 people on the northeast side last night. This happening around 10 in the evening on Lakeview Drive near Woodlake Parkway and Old Seguin Road. According to the BCSO, that suspect was in a dark-colored SUV when they fired several shots from inside the vehicle into several duplexes. One person was shot in the head, another person shot in the chest, and yet another in the foot. All 3 taken to the hospital. They are expected to survive. At last check, the sheriff's office did not have a description of the shooter.
I want to take you to a traffic trouble spot right now. This is along Highway 90 at Military, and you can see there are fire trucks on the scene along with police. They actually have the ramp shut down on to Highway 90 at Military. Some type of accident here. You can see actually the camera scanning around to try to figure out what's going on. This vehicle obviously involved. There's another vehicle on the other side of the road as well. Just down to one lane, though, right now at US 90 at Military. We'll continue to follow it.
No rain around town right now or even Bexar County, but you go just west and southwest of San Antonio and you run into some showers. And we'll take a closer look at some of those showers, especially south down I-35, particularly Frio County, Pearsall area being clipped by this downpour. A little bit of lightning and thunder associated with this. This is basically right between Dilley and Devine, but the purple indicate the heavy rainfall. So that's what we have going on around Pearsall at the moment. That's headed into southwestern Atascosa County. And then another thunderstorm. Nothing severe, just heavy rain with some lightning and thunder between Bracketville and Uvalde crossing over Highway 90. We'll take a closer look at these and time these out coming up in a little bit. Temperature-wise, Del Rio 82. Meanwhile, 72 in Lakey, 73 in Floresville and Windcrest, Bulverde at 71. Other than a few of those showers and storms early, a pretty quiet night, not much of a breeze, comfortable, temperatures falling down into the 60s and not overly humid. But in a little bit, we'll talk about when that humidity returns and what it means along with a cold front for some more thunderstorms. See you in a bit, Steve.
Thank you, Adam. Will they be reappointed? That's the question regarding the 2 Tennessee lawmakers who were expelled from their seats last week.
ABC's Melissa Aiden shows us how their ouster for staging a gun protest in House chambers could be nullified by a local district vote.
One of the 2 black Democrats who were expelled of the Tennessee State House of Representatives last week could be reinstated following days after the GOP expelled 2 lawmakers, Justin Jones and Justin Pearson, who protested for more gun control, using bullhorns after their mics were turned off in the wake of a deadly Nashville elementary school shooting that killed 6 people, including 3 children. Following Monday's emergency meeting by the Nashville Metropolitan Council, Justin Jones could be reinstated reinstated as a Tennessee state representative. This after the majority of the 39-member National Metro Council indicated their support. Commissioners and lawmaker Pearson's County in Memphis are also considering similar action.
I do hope to continue to serve District 86 in the reappointment. And if there is a special election, I would definitely run in that special election because our voters have been disenfranchised.
Over the weekend, Tennessee Republican House members defending their removal.
They disrupted the function, started mobilizing and shouting and creating chaos within the House of Representatives to the point that business could not be conducted.
In an interview with ABC's Faith Abube, Jones saying the expulsion has ignited a passion to serve and speak up for those that elected him.
There are people who don't have anyone to do their constituent affairs anymore. We definitely have unfinished business.
If reinstated, Jones and Pearson would serve until a special election where they could run for their seat again. Melissa Adon, ABC News, Los Angeles.
It's an abortion drug that's been used for nearly 2 decades, but the future of mifepristone is getting challenged. Its future is likely to go to the Supreme Court. Right now, the Justice Department is appealing a Texas court ruling from Friday that says the FDA abused its power in 2000 when it used an accelerated approval process. That process reserved for new drugs that can work better than existing drugs on patients with serious or life-threatening illnesses. The Texas judge ruled not only is pregnancy not an illness, but mifepristone isn't more safe or effective than surgical abortion. The ruling would halt the production and distribution of the drug this week.
The president's made the commitment. We're going to use every available resource to protect a woman's right to reproductive health care.
After another conflicting ruling that would protect the drug's access was issued out of Washington state on Friday, the Justice Department is stepping into. If the Texas ruling takes effect, it would pull the plug on the combo treatment using mifepristone and misoprostol. Experts consider the single drug slightly less effective.
To other news now, and 20,000 pounds of love for our deployed service members. That's the goal for a local nonprofit, Soldiers Angels, trying to collect 10 tons of much appreciated items for care packages for U.S. service members. You can help too and get a lot of gratitude along the way. Take it from Angela Johnson, who knows firsthand how special these care packages really are.
I was deployed in Iraq from 2004 to 2005. You get some of your favorite things, cards, letters. Even with my daughter, she was in her class and her teacher had everyone send like little letters and notes.
The popular items, of course, are Slim Jims. They're always at the top of the list, and any type of beef jerky products. But trail mix is popular.
The Go Camo Care Package collection drive runs through the end of June. The 20,000-pound goal has special meaning because the nonprofit Soldiers Angels is about to celebrate its 20th anniversary. You can read more about this and how you can help on KSAT.com. Still to come on the news at 5, we're going to talk money and whether you should be wasting some of yours on the wrong detergent. Up next, Marilyn Moritz checks out different laundry detergents, even laundry sheets, to determine which work best against some of the toughest stains and which you can do without. Coming up.
I'm Myra Arthur here in the KSAT newsroom with a look at what's coming your way today on the news at 6. First up, a murder sentencing here in Bexar County. Fabian Vega sentenced for the 2020 murder of 16-year-old Jesse Alvear. Details on the plea deal that Vega took and what he said to the victim's family following his sentencing today. Plus, the proposed relocation or removal of dozens of trees at Brackenridge Park has opponents hoping that a state commission will step in and force the city to change course. We'll explain the latest in this battle. All that and more today on the news at 6.
Thank you, Myra. I'll see you then. Well, how long have you used the same laundry detergent? Did you know that some companies tweak their formulas every year or several times a year? 12 on your side's Marilyn Moritz has the latest test results, including what's worth the money, including the newest thing, dissolving laundry sheets.
Whether you're pro powder, prefer pods, or are loyal to liquids, Consumer Reports' tough test can help.
Even the best detergents can't remove every stain completely. So it's really about getting one that works for what you are typically laundering and whether you routinely have heavily soiled clothes.
They stain swatches with blood, body oil, chocolate, coffee, grass, and salad dressing, then washed with dozens of detergents. They also checked out these laundry sheets made of concentrated detergent and held together by a resin and paper that dissolves. No plastics.
The laundry sheets as a group didn't perform as well as liquids and pods in our tests. However, if your laundry isn't heavily soiled and you're looking for a more sustainable laundry routine, these could be a good option.
Tide Plus Ultra Stain Release and Persil Pro Clean Stain Fighter tackled the tough stains the best. But if grass and blood stains aren't common at your house, they say consider Kirkland's Signature Ultra Clean Liquid from Costco. It's a better value. If convenience is key, Tide Power Pods were the top pods. Pods do cost more, however, and
pods can be dangerous, especially in households with cognitively impaired adults or young children who might accidentally ingest them.
And one more point for liquids is it can also be used as a stain pre-treater. So that's one less thing to buy. Marilyn Moritz, KSAT 12 News.
You know what? It all comes out in the wash.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a live look outside. We're at the Tower Life building. Beautiful day downtown. It's turned out to be.
Yeah, it's been fairly gray today. You know, that's limited how warm it's been getting, but still it's warmer than what we had over the Easter weekend, and temperatures will continue to be on the rise in the days ahead. A few stray showers out there late this afternoon and into the early evening. We'll take a close look at radar in a moment. And then another storm chance as we get into Saturday. I'm more focused on that, and I'll get into the reasons why in a moment. And warming temperatures as well. We'll be back up to 90 degrees by this upcoming weekend. Taking a look at the radar out there, and there isn't anything around San Antonio at the moment. We could see one or two develop, but I'm not counting on it. This is all generally south and southwest. You go south down I-35, hit Pearsall, heavy rainfall, maybe even some non-damaging small hail associated with this, particularly in the purple areas on the southern edge of Pearsall, a little closer to Millen. Now this is headed to the southeast, a little over 20 miles per hour, so making it to Aurelia at 6:05 and Zella at 6:28 p.m. That's that little thunderstorm that we have. Nothing severe. We've been seeing these little cells pop up as well over the past couple of hours, moving out of the hill country, now crossing over Highway 90 between Bracketville and Uvalde. This is just moved through Klein, headed toward Dabney, and it's going to be a short-lived but beneficial downpour is what we have. Locally, you can see a little bit popping up near Pipe Creek, just that little splash of green on the screen, but I don't anticipate that to really develop into much more. I think most of us around here, if not all of us, will be dry. You look at the visible satellite imagery and you can see some of the blow-off clouds coming in. There you go, aloft from that thunderstorm. So basically the upper level winds blowing that exhaust, if you will, from that storm, those high clouds eastward along Highway 90. And that's why we've got some of the high thin clouds in western Bexar County at the moment. But otherwise some breaks in the rain and breaks in the showers and storms. But notice how we go up into central Texas, north central Texas, and Oklahoma. There's some energy embedded within this northerly flow aloft that's steering these storms, but also that energy is helping to develop some of those showers and storms. And we even have this severe thunderstorm watch, Wichita Falls up to Oklahoma City. So little bits of energy, little pieces of energy moving through that flow that we have out there right now. And this upper level low is actually going to park itself over Louisiana for most of this week. You know, typically we look for these cutoff upper level lows to set up, give us some better rain chances. We're just on the wrong side of this one. It's the good rain's going to be Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and Florida. That's where they'll see most of the shower activity with that. We're on the backside, not a good side to be on if you want to get more rain. However, once that moves out into the weekend, Saturday, a pattern shift and a cold front, and that elevates our rain chances again, and thunderstorms, that is. Friday, a 20% chance. Saturday, we're up to 40%, and that would be scattered in the afternoon and early evening. It's not a guarantee we'll really see a whole lot of development, but if we do, it would have the potential of becoming strong to severe. That's why we're especially watching that pretty closely. We'll keep you updated. A lot can change between now and then. 73, let's talk temperature. 73, it's comfortable. Dew point is 60, not overly humid. 79 in Cotulla, 72 right now in Hondo and New Braunfels. A pleasant 70 in Bernie. Converse had 71 degrees. Tomorrow morning, we'll start the day mid-50s. Rio Medina 55, Seguin 55, 57 in San Antonio, and then we'll break out into sunshine, make it up to 77. But I do want to point out some morning clouds, bit of fog, and maybe a sprinkle or two, but a comfortable afternoon well into the 70s. I mentioned warming up, 82 by Friday and then 90 briefly on Saturday before we see a little temperature drop again. Not too hot.
All right, Adam, thank you.
All right, Spurs have some decisions to make now that we are officially in the Spurs offseason.
Yeah, and you know what? A lot of these young guys really showed their potential, so these decisions are probably not going to be very easy ones for the Spurs. One of the young guys I think they're really high on, Dom Barlow, 19 years old. He got a lot of minutes yesterday, and he definitely showing his promise. And Jeremy Sohan, well, his season ended on the bench, but he talked about how his rookie campaign went. Coming up.
Y'all can hear me? Yeah. Is it even on?
It's just for the...
Oh, okay.
It's not amplified.
All right, good.
Mic check, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, we hear you, Dom Barlow, and we also see your game in Big Board Sports. The Spurs beat the Mavs 138-117 in the season finale for both clubs yesterday. Jeremy, Keldon, and Devin sat out for the Spurs. Luka and Kyrie didn't play for the Mavs. San Antonio led wire to wire and by as many as 31 points. 9 Spurs played and 8 reached double digits in scoring, led by Mamu, who had 23 points and 11 rebounds. 19-year-old Dominic Barlow had the best game of his young NBA career with 21 points and a whopping 19 boards, both career highs, and his second pro double-double. Barlow was asked how has his game changed from the start of the season.
During the course of the season, you're going to have ups and downs. I think overall I definitely improved. I understand, the systems that we're running and stuff, the terminology, all that, and just my body, how I'm playing on the floor. I just think it's improved overall, but there's definitely ups and downs, and you kind of got to stay in a good space mentally, because if not, you kind of can get lost.
Spurs rookie and first-round draft pick Jeremy Sohan's first NBA season is in the books. He played 56 games and averaged 11 points per contest. He sat out the final 9 games of the regular season with right knee soreness. During the Spurs' final presser Sunday, he was asked how would he measure his first year in the league.
It's been a season full of different things. I think overall it's been very positive. Of course, as in everything, we're not robots, so there's a lot of ups and downs. Your body's not 100%, but I think overall it's been really good. And I think, leaving, I think it's left a lot of hope, not just for me, but I think just everyone else.
I feel like Jeremy gonna be really good. And I feel like I'm excited to see his growth, man. Excited to be part of his journey to, whatever he turns out to be, which is, in my opinion, I think is gonna be pretty damn good. So
Spurs finished the regular season tied with the Rockets for the NBA's second worst record of 22-60. SA and Houston will now face off in a coin flip to determine who gets the second worst record and the third worst heading into the NBA draft lottery Tuesday, May 16th. Detroit, Houston, and SA all have a 14% chance to win that number 1 pick.
Let's hope the ping pong balls fall right once again.
It's hard to cross fingers with the iPad. Now I got it.
Yeah, I'm glad, Larry.
Okay. We'll be right back.
I have to say those private restrooms are clutch and very key there. They really are at our insider events, especially at Fiesta. Makes a big difference.
Good to know.
Hey, tomorrow morning, a little bit of a gray start with some fog and a stray sprinkle. Otherwise, 70s and sunny by the afternoon.
He does weather and bathroom forecasts, ladies and gentlemen. He's well-rounded.